Hey, everybody. Welcome to During the Break podcast. Today, I thought I would put out a solo podcast. It's just me, little old me. I used to put out more solo podcast when I first started doing podcast 2 years ago. And I've done several since then, but at first I put out quite a bit of them. I called it my cheap therapy. And I may start doing a few more of them because I need it more now than ever. But I started having more conversations. And especially during COVID, that's been my social outlet. But today, I want to talk about something that I have touched on this topic before, either in conversation with other people or on the radio show Marketing Mix Radio. And it's about questions we ask, but this is different, a little different. And I'll tell you why it came to my mind. I was taking my walk the other day, and I'm almost 53 years old. So I'm looking back on life, and you start seeing how life goes in cycles. You start seeing how you have ups and downs. And when you're younger and you're busy, you're busy. You don't think about aging really. You don't think about your past too much because you're in the thick of things in your 20s and your 30s. But when you start having more life experiences and you have a bigger sample to look back on, you can start going, okay, when things are good, what am I doing right? Right? When things are going well, whether it's in business or my relationships or my health, what am I doing right? Also, what am I doing wrong? Now, the reason that I'm going to bring up asking this one specific question is because it's painful. It can be painful. It's not easy. And we don't do it like we say we do it. I do some business consulting, and I used to do a lot more of it when I had my advertising and marketing company, and sales consulting for sales teams and sales people. And everybody says they want to spend time working on their business, or if you're into self-help, you work on yourself. But up until the point where it gets hard, that's why when people make real breakthroughs, everybody knows it. You can tell. It's not something they have to preach to you. It's not just a weight loss thing. It's a vibe. I'm a big believer on vibes. When there's real breakthrough, that means there's pain behind that. They've had to go through pain, whether it's the physical pain of changing habits, healing relationships, changing behaviors, etc. Fill in the blanks here. But we are so impatient in the world we live in. I sit down with business owners or salespeople or the man in the mirror. That's called melodramatic. I was just trying to get your attention. I sit down with people, and it's amazing when we start asking questions how quick. We want it fast. In other words, I've sat down with business owners, and they'll start telling me about what they want, and I'll say, okay, so tell me why you're wanting that, or how is that going to look successful? Like, how are you defining success? What's the end game? And they are so busy on focusing on what they want to do. They go, I want to brand. I just want to brand it. Okay, well, you're doing this event. How are you going to define success on that? What's the end game look like? When you're done with the event, how will you know it's successful? I have a good friend of mine that runs a sporting company here in where I live, and he does a lot of events, and we've talked about it. They define success, and when the family gets in the car at the end of the night, what do you want them to say on the way home? And if you start from there and re-engineer it, reverse engineer it backwards, then you can start putting in place, how do we want the relationship to be as they're talking to the vendors, or when they first walk into the venue, or etc. Fill in the blank. But if you don't have a specific way to measure success, even if we got to have 100 people and we need to spend this much money over this time period for the event, great. At least now we know how we're measuring success. But you would be surprised if you're not in the business of talking to business owners on a daily or weekly basis, how frustrated they get when you try to push that. Because they'll go, yeah, we need to have, 50 to 100 people, and we just need to make some money on the event. We need to have 1,000 people. I guess a return on investment would be, I don't know, we'll have to work on it, but I know we need butts in seats. Okay, or I'm going to do an ad campaign for 6 months. Well, how are we going to define success on that? What's the end goal? They get very frustrated. I'm saying all of that before I even go into the question is because I'm going to encourage you and me. And I've been fortunate through the last 6 months. I've done a lot of this. Do that. And if you're watching the video, you saw me take a deep breath. If you're on the podcast, you may have heard it. But a breath. Take a breath. Slow down. This isn't something you need to actually have some time to ask some questions. Now, with that being said, here come the questions. There's a couple questions I'm going to throw out, but then there's just one. The question, of course, is what? And I kind of touched on it. What do you want the end game to be? Or it could be how. How are you going to define this? What is the end results? And then we come to the why. Right here is where I think we get stuck. So if you remember, when I asked the business owner, or I asked myself, what do I want in 30 days? Or if I'm going to start this new routine, what I hope to achieve? That's typical. Whether you're in business or personal, asking yourself, what do I need to change? What? Then we go, why? Right there. That's a great question. But it's also where we get impatient and stuck. Because as soon as I ask the business owner, okay, now why do you want that? Let's go past the what and the how. Now, why is that important? Well, I need to make more money. Okay. Well, I need to lose weight. I want to communicate better. Okay. And then we stop. Just getting from the what and the how to the why can be very frustrating. I've just told you an anecdote for me, how you talk people through that and they get impatient. They just want to talk about the what and the how. They get to the why. They go, well, because I need to make money. I need to be a better communicator. I want to lose 30 pounds. That's all great. That's good. Now, here's the question. And this is where the pain comes in. And this is the question that transcends just business. It goes to personal. And it's why the second time. The real why. And I've got a few examples written down, so you may see me looking down at my paper, but I was on this walk and I'm starting to think through stuff like this. And I'm thinking, I relate to this. Maybe other people will relate to it as well. If I were to ask you why you wanted to lose weight, or what do you want to change? And you go, well, I want to lose 30 pounds. Okay. And I say, why? Well, I just want to feel better. I just want to look good in the bikini or the bathing suit in the summer or the spring. Great. Slow down right there and ask yourself, but really why? This is where some real change can come in. It's because I have some insecurities. It's because I've been this way for 3 years or 10 years or 30 years. It's been this way, or I want to lose that weight because I went to the doctor and I had some heart problems. Don't stop there. We'll also have some kids I want to raise, and the grandkids. I'm tired of breathing heavy coming up the stairs. Now, I'm going to say this multiple times throughout this. Write that down. Because when things get tough, I just want to lose 20 pounds is not going to motivate you. I just want to look better. And your brain's going to be moving fast. And your inner talk is going to start fighting you and telling you why you don't need to go on the walk, why you don't need to go to the gym, why it's okay to eat that donut. And if you have not got something that you have read over almost on a daily basis, that's your real why, you will give in. Because losing 20 pounds is just not that big a deal. But playing with my kids is a big deal. Knowing that I've been told by my doctor I'm going to have to start blood pressure medication or diabetes medication, or I may have to have open heart surgery, or I've started to get, I've got these things going on. I can't play with my kids anymore. I'm going to have some knee surgery, and I'm 30 pounds overweight and I want to recover. All of these become your real why. That is your motivation. So I wrote some other examples down. And so bear with me as I walk through them. And one of these you may relate to. So we've talked about our what and our how. We've kind of taken a deep breath. We've asked our first why, and that's the big stuff. That's where we throw out the surface things, right? That's where we throw out that I need to communicate better. I need to lose 30 pounds. I need to have better habits. I need to sleep better, whatever. I need to make more sales calls. Great. Another deep breath. And now ask yourself, but really why? Why do I need to do that? What benefit, what end game am I tying that to? So if your goal, and I talked to you about the goal of my buddy in the sporting world, the ride home. Once I know that, I can reverse engineer it. How about a habit? I need to change habits. I need to wake up earlier. Why? I will get more done. Why? Well, to be honest with you, I'm not leaving the office till 5:30 or 6 because I'm always behind every day. And I don't get home in time to see my kids, or I've missed ball games. And I know that if I put in an extra 30 minutes in the morning, or if I could get to the gym in the morning instead of going in the afternoon or not going at all, then I would be a more complete person. I would be happier. I could go to my kids' ball games. I could take my wife or my significant other out on more evening dates. Fill in the blank here. Tie the habit to the result, to the why. Why am I doing it? And it's not just to lose the weight. It's not just to get more sleep or wake up earlier. It's I get to be more effective as a person. This question of the second why, the real why, kind of goes with other stuff too. For instance, I don't like doing something. So I'm on my walk and I started thinking about things that I have said that in the past. Like, I don't like doing paperwork. I'm not a detail person. Now, a lot of what I say or I bring up, there's truth to it. There are people who just, they revel in, they live in, they swim in the waters of details. They are detailed. I am the I's dotted, T's crossed person. And there's people who aren't. But a lot of times we start putting a bunch of things that I just don't like and that are hard into the big bucket of that's just not who I am. I'm not a detailed person, so I don't have to do the things that are required. It doesn't mean that you have to be a detailed person. It doesn't mean you're lying, but it means, and if we put five things in that box, there's going to be one or two of them that we probably could do. We probably should do. It would probably help us to have the discipline to learn to do those one or two things, but we don't. We give ourselves the out. So when we say, that's not who I am, and you go, okay, but really, hold on a second. Why? I'm not doing it. So let's go back to the original model. I'm not doing it. What is it? Right? What thing is it that I don't do? And if I say, it's not who I am, that's not how I'm built, it's just not me. That's my why, right? Why aren't you doing that thing? It's not who I am. And what's the real reason? Is it you're lazy? See what I'm saying? That's painful. Is it you're lazy? Is it you're scared of trying to do something and failing? Is it you're overwhelmed? You're insecure? The second why matters. And then you have to ask yourself, okay, for those one or two things that I've stuck in this big basket excuse of it's just me. That's not how I'm wired, man. That's not me. Those one or two things that I could be doing, should be doing, if I did that, if I actually disciplined myself to do that, what would that look like? Would that help me know more about my business? In other words, if you're a salesperson and you don't do one or two things and you chalk it up to that's just who I am, and of those things, a couple you could be doing or should be doing, would that make you a better salesperson because now you know more behind the scenes? Now you know more how to take care of your client. Maybe you'd be more empathetic with the people you work with. Again, you may go down this road and go, no, that's really not who I am. I don't need to be doing that. That's fine. But again, go back to we're impatient. I'm working on myself. I don't like doing that. That's the thing I don't like to do. Why? That's just not who I am. Next. Because the painful answer is if I'm lazy, then that's a me problem. That's a me problem. How about why did I fail? This is a big one. When I was walking, I take a daily walk. I try to walk at least 2 to 3 miles a day. This was a big one for me because when you say fail, that goes to business, that goes to sales, it goes to being a parent, it goes to being a friend, a sibling, a son or daughter, marriages, relationships. Again, losing weight, you don't lose weight. Failing is part of life. And a lot of times, I won't go too deep down the road of healing, but a lot of times we don't heal because we don't really push past the first why. So if I were to bring up a marriage and say, why did my marriage fail? And I use words like, our communication broke down. Man, I just lost myself to the relationship in my marriage. I lost who I was. Oh, we just quit having fun. We didn't connect anymore. Okay. Why did my business fail? Well, I quit listening to the people around me. It was cash flow. Okay. All right. Why is my closing rate down so much the last 6 months? Man, it's just stars lined up against me. It's the market. I've just not had luck. I don't know. I'm just off. Right? You got to go all the way back 15 minutes ago when I said, we're all impatient now. We don't like to spend time on this figuring it out. We want to get to the first why and then go like this. Now that I've told you why, help me fix this. I've hired you to be my consultant, or you're my coach, or you're my motivator, or you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you go, yep, it was a communication problem. Dadgummit. Got to get better at communicating. Write this down. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, but really why? So when you say we didn't communicate well, are you talking about you? Talking about them? Did you not set expectations? Were you not open enough? Did you lie? Did you hide stuff? Did they lie? Did they hide stuff? Were you not available? Were you looking at your phone when you're supposed to be with them? Did you stop having the dates? Did you stop sharing dreams? Be specific. Write down the things that you don't think that this is silly, but it doesn't matter. Write it down. You know what? I noticed when I asked myself the second why and I slowed down, we started talking about the kids all the time and we stopped talking about dreams. We stopped talking about things that are important to the other person. It was all about working kids and bills and working kids and bills. And it was never about souls and energy and vibes and nothing, because that we just were tired. Okay. That's some painful stuff. Take it a little further. What part did you play in that? Can't fix their part. What part did you play? Write it down. I stopped communicating like this. I started communicating this way. This was unhealthy. This was unhealthy. This was unhealthy. These two things I did were okay. It's okay to give yourself credit. I was healthy with those. Write that down, because how am I supposed to be a better communicator with the next person if I don't really know what communicating means to me? Looking back on it, how can I fix? You can't live in the past, but I'll repeat it again if I just throw these big blankets. That's communication. Cover it up. Move on. No, the real why. Why did I fail? Why did it fail? My part in it. Under communications, there's little things happening. How about, and I'm going to look down here again, when I say lost self or the market, did I fail to set expectations? Am I in the market? Is it really the market? Is the rest of the market up? Or well, here's what I used to do when I used to be a salesperson, and I've actually helped other salespeople. I've heard people say it's the market, and I'll say, well, next time we get together, bring me some statistics about the market, and I'll look up some too. And what I found is we find one or two statistics, if you're a salesperson or business person, that kind of support what we believe. This is down, this is down. So I have a right to be down. That's my why. Why am I failing? What am I failing at? Sales closing rate. Why? Market's down. Here's some things did you read the most recent report? The report says the market's down. We're down too. I'm down 13%. Until you start really researching and you find areas of the market that are up or are not down as much or even. And what do? We gravitate to the things that confirm what we need them to confirm. I'm not saying there's not truth to it. I'm not saying it may be the market. We've lived through some crazy market times, so that's 100% possible. But you got to get to this second why before you can just throw the blanket on it and go, it's the market. It's just hey, listen, I'm in a rough spot. How many times have you said that? I'm going through a rough patch. Hadn't been lucky. I've had some unqualified leads lately. Well, why is that? That's unqualified. They've handed them off to me, or I'm only getting bad phone calls of really, why is that? To be honest with you, I stopped calling my client the lead back promptly. I used to call them back within 30 minutes. Now I don't call them back till the next day. And I'm thinking about it. I started kind of making some assumptions. If I didn't think they had the money to spend, I really didn't pursue them that hard. I forgot to put the follow-ups on my calendar. So like half of my last few leads, I didn't even follow up with them after the first contact. But I've got this statistic over here that says the market's down 14%. So I can fall back on that why. I'm telling you right now, the real why matters. Let's keep going for a few more minutes and then we'll wrap it up. You got to also ask these same questions when you're successful, when things are going right. Looking back on it, what was going on when you were doing good? When you felt I could not wait to get home to see them, or I cannot wait till Friday night when I get to see them, or when I felt like I was, top of the line parent or top of the line sales manager, I was in my sweet spot on sales. Do the exact same thing. What am I talking about? Sales. I was really good. Why? Man, I write them down. I did this. I felt, write the emotions down. I was words like excited, empowered, confident. I made sales calls, write specifics down. I made this many calls. I was doing this. I felt energy. So now I have not just these big general whys from failure, but I have really specific whys. I stopped making the calls. I stopped communicating. I stopped spending time with my kids. I stopped texting my friends or calling my friends. And then on the other side, when I'm successful, I was getting up 30 minutes earlier. I was going to the gym. I was sending little cute notes to my spouse. I was making time. I was saving money. Whatever the success is, once you get past the big whys and get to the real why, I have a template for success and a template for failure. How about, let's see, this is a pretty good one. And well, I kind of said it, but what am I weak at and what am I strong at? It goes back to what we talked about a minute ago. A lot of times we just chalk things up to that's just who I am. That's just how I'm built. That's just me. Well, it may be. Do the same thing with your strengths. Why am I good at that? Well, I enjoy doing it, so I do it more often. That's usually what it is, right? Why are you good at basketball? Well, I was pretty good at basketball. I enjoyed basketball. And it's funny, when I enjoyed it, I played it more, so I got better at it. That's how things are. And as much as of our life as we can, I think we should have the discipline to do the things that we don't like, but we need to do. See, there's categories. Just because you like doing something doesn't mean you need to be doing a lot of it. You might like eating donuts, or you might like watching TV, but if you do it all the time, it's not going to be good for you. Then there's things that you like and you're good at and that benefit you. I love to run. Well, run. Yeah, I love to read the Bible. Read the Bible. I love to eat healthy. I love the way eating healthy makes me feel. Okay, do it. Then there's things that you don't like to do, but benefit you and you need to do. I don't like looking at my numbers. I'm not a numbers guy, but you got to know your numbers if you're in sales. I don't really like eating vegetables, but I need to be healthy. Why? Go back to what we were talking about. Because I want to be this person for my kids. I want to be this person for my family. I want to be able to feel good in my own body. It's an inner thing, not just an outer thing. Well, then eating vegetables is something I need to do. I don't like invoicing my clients. I lose track of it. Well, if you don't have anybody else that you can delegate that to, guess what? You got to learn to do it. And then there's things you don't like to do that you don't have to do. Put them in a category, shove them and delegate them, or just don't do it. That's fine too. But if all your life is only discipline, then you're going to burn out. And if your only life is only pleasure, then you're going to end up getting depressed because there's nothing to rub up against to challenge you, to change you, and to help you grow. So this question I've asked, and I've got some other stuff written down here, but we won't go into it. But the real question that I wanted to bring up is the second why. When you sit down with, when you sit down with yourself or you sit down with other people, the second why is the hardest to get to because we are so impatient and we just want the answer. I want to lose the 30 pounds in 10 days and be done with it. I'm so tired of feeling this way. Why? Well, oh, golly, I'm going to stop eating donuts, start going to the track. Now, that's good. But I'm telling you right now, if you don't tie that to your real why, to the second why, it won't last. It won't become a habit. You won't say, why do I got to stop smoking? I want to stop smoking. Why? I just need to be healthy. It's better for me. Dig. Take the deep breath, go through the pain, and go, I don't want to die early. I want to be able to breathe easier. I want to be a better example to my kids. Because when things get hard, you better have something pretty powerful to help you push through. And I'm not talking about you getting 10 or 15 pounds overweight. I'm not talking about you going through a slump. I'm talking about what's going to pull you out of that. What's going to pull you out of the slump? What's going to help you push through? If you have not tied it to the real why, not your first why, if you've not tied it to the real why, you either will repeat it in a relationship, you will burn out and quit your job, or you will get stuck and depressed because you've not tied the real why of success or the real whys of your failures to anything bigger than just the generalities of life. And general stuff won't motivate you to take the steps that you need to take, either as a human being in relationships with yourself or others, or as a salesperson or a business owner or a sales manager. So my challenge for me and for you is to write down the things that we've failed at, we've been successful at, the things that we need to change, things we want. Write them down. Use paper. Write things down so you can look back on it. Then write down the why and just understand your first why is it's okay to use words like communication. It failed because of communication. I was successful because of my personality. And then slow down and really think about it. What does that mean, my personality? What does that mean, communication? What does that mean, I want to make more money? Why does making more money help my life? Oh, well, because my kids can go to college. When my kid's car breaks down, I can help. When my mom and dad get sick, I can help. When something goes wrong, I don't feel the anxiety and stress. So maybe I don't eat pizza on this Friday night for the next couple of months. Maybe that $10 goes into a savings account. It's not much, but I promise you'll feel better. You'll feel more in control. And when you think about spending it, it'll be tied to something else. Nope, that's that vacation I've been promising my kids. That's the house that I want to buy, even though I've never owned a house and I'm in my 40s. If I save up and keep working this job, why am I working this job that I don't really care for? I've tied it to something because I want to own my own business and I need to finance myself and I need X number of dollars to do this thing to help me start my business. That'll get you up out of bed. That'll get you to the job. That'll get you to the next step. So it's not just the what and the how, it's the why. But the key question is the second why, your real why. There you go. Hope you have a good day. Hang in there. Keep going. Keep moving. Talk to you soon. Bye.